Hey, Lure the Swarm here, and today I'm bringing you a Broodlord Tactics video. We're going to go over how to use him, some of the special rules I like to use in my games, and yeah, really just this is going to be my first specific unit tactic, so hopefully I can kind of set a standard, kind of show you guys what I think tactic videos should look like. Alright, so insert tactics situation number one. So I apologize that all I have is Tyranid models to represent this, but we're going to have to use our imaginations here for a little bit. So say the unit on the right is, a unit of Gene Stealers with the Broodlord. The unit on the left is, these guys can just be like Space Marines. And then this guy is some sort of special character. So these could be like Grey Knights, and this could be the guy with the what is it called? The Demon Hammer, or like a Power Fist, or even like a Captain or something, some guy that's attached into the unit that you don't want to have any attacks at all. Thunderwolf Cavalry guy, with his Thunder Hammer. Bunch of attacks guy. Mark of a Wolfen, Abaddon, anyone. So he's hanging out here on the end, and he could be anywhere in this unit, but I'm just putting him here. Let me just flip him around so that way it's just easier for everybody to see. Because everybody else is, who cares? But the big thing is, so the Broodlord gets this psychic power that, well, one, they have the -1 leadership one, and when that's pretty obvious how you'd use that to charge in and give what you do at the beginning. So you -1 to their leadership, then have it's a greater potential for them to fail their psychic tests and things like that. You don't really use it to make them run away, because usually I don't want people to run away from me in my turn. So really it's just to mess up their psychic tests and things in that nature. Or like counterattack might fail because somehow their squad leader died because they're only leadership 8 or whatever. So usually I don't use that power unless it's going to hit multiple units. So, so he's got this hypnotic gaze that you use to cancel out someone's attack. But the trick is you got to be in base space contact with them. So while you're moving up, you have a 6-inch move, 3d6 move through cover, a d6 run, and then a 6-inch charge or 3d6 charge through cover, because you got move through cover. To get into this kind of formation where you've got everyone squaring up. And you got to make sure that this guy is closest to the guy that you want to engage. Or, say if this guy was back and then there was like a guy over here. The way the assault rules work is you'd move closest to closest, then this guy would have to go into an unengaged model. So then you can move him into base here. So either he has to be the closest guy in the unit to the guy that you want to engage. So like this. Or if the formation that your enemy's in is like this, then the guy next to him has got to be the closest. Then you do closest to an unengaged model. Alright, so that's how that works. So back to our situation. Basically, you just need to get him into base space contact. Now, when this power goes off, you pass your leadership test or whatever, pretending like it doesn't get psychic hooded. Now, you and your opponent roll off a dice. So D6, they have to beat your score. So if you both roll 4, you're going to win because you're leadership 10. And depending on, this guy could potentially not even be leadership 10. Could be like leadership 9. Then that means he would have to roll 2 higher than you to beat you. Yes, because if he's leadership 9, you rolled a 4, that would make you 14. He would have to roll a 6 to get a 15 and beat you. So, you can see how potentially powerful how that could really mess someone up. And then that means they can't strike at all this round. So when you charge in, say that's that strength 10 Thunderwolf Lord with all sorts of crazy attacks, you roll a dice. If he doesn't beat you, then he can't make any attacks at all. And then he's just relying on his Joe Schmoes over here to, make up the combat against Gene Stealers. And you got Gene Stealers backing you up so that you know that they're going to cleave through most of the unit. And then now he's just by himself. Alright? This also sets you up to instant kill that character if you give him the implant attack, which means that on 6s, which are Rens anyway, that's what you want, you inflict instant death. So say it's a Thunderwolf with a Power Fist or something. It's the Thunderwolf with a Power Fist because it's a base model, so you pick the model. It doesn't have to get distributed to somebody else. If you roll 6, he's instantly killed. Knobs, it would work really well against, like a War Boss. War Boss, they have a ton of attacks, strength 10 probably, and you just instant kill them. Now, you might be saying, hey, this guy's toughness 5, he doesn't have Eternal Warrior. If this guy's like a librarian with a force weapon, like my guy will die, right? Well, no, he won't because he's an upgrade character. Upgrade characters are part of the squad, so you can just put the wounds on these guys. So let's say this guy gets, like, one force weapon wound gets through, and then he's like, oh, I want to instant kill or whatever, but you're like, no, I just put the force weapon wound on this guy so he dies. So you can't get instant killed back unless this guy's like the Grey Knight thing that can just take a model and base content. They have a Brotherhood champion or something that when he dies he just has to pass a psychic test, which the -1 leadership might come in handy then. But again, you want to that actually would be an instance where we might use the -1 leadership. When he dies, he could potentially kill. He just removes you from the table. It's with no saves. It's kind of stupid. So barring that, you can just charge in and instant kill someone, which is pretty slick. And then make him not attack. There's a really good chance that they just won't attack. Alright, so, pretend all these other guys go away. How this really can be useful is, like, say you've got Mephiston, or a Dread Knight, or a Satan, or some really big scary thing that's come crashing down the field and seemingly cannot be stopped. Well, the Broodlord, you can get him up there, get him into base-to-base contact, and again, he'll have all his Gene Sealed buddies. Sorry, I got blurry there again, so here we are back to the combat. Let's see if I can get some epic level. So you got your Broodlord in here. Now, he can do that same cancel attack. So he cancels out his guy. But like a Dread Knight is susceptible to instant death. The Satan, I'm not sure if they're Eternal Warrior, but he could potentially be instant killed. And all of your Gene Sealers are wounding on a 4+. So again, you're charging in and being like, hey, Mephiston, you don't get to attack because, I went off, or I passed my psychic test. You didn't force hood me, or psychic hood me, and then you didn't beat me on the roll-off. So, and I understand that that's a lot of what-ifs, but you're favored to win that match-off. So then he's not going to be able to attack it at all. So now it's just all of your guys get free reign. A lot of these things that I've mentioned don't have, they have invulnerable saves, but not like 3+ invulnerable save or something like that. So Dread Knights can be instant death, Satanic instant death. And then all of you have so many Gene Sealer attacks that rend on 6s and just a ton of 4+ to wound attacks that, you can't help but take something down. So, and that's a good way to use him too. And that's why I like the Broodlord a lot better than just, because again, he's about the equivalent of 3 Gene Sealers. He upgrades 1, and then that upgrade costs about 2 guys. So you lose a couple of Gene Sealers. So he's strength 5, toughness 5, so that means he gets to reroll his wounds against Thunder Cav, some of the new Necron units, and things like that. He can reroll the wound against them still. And again, just hoping for those. If you give him implant attacks, instant death. And he can take Scything Talons too. I forgot to mention that. You give him Scything Talons independent of the rest of the squad. So you give him Scything Talons, he can reroll 1s. He's weapon skill like super high. I can't remember what it is. So that just helps him out and deal more damage. Take care. Make sure you guys comment and post up what you guys think about the Broodlord. If you agree with me or if you think it's worth just having a couple more Gene Sealers. Because I can see the case. But between the strengths 5 and everything, pretty slick. Alright, take care and hit me up. Bye. So in conclusion, I'd like to wrap up by saying that I really like the Broodlord. He's a fun model to take and put out on the table because he lets you have some more psychic powers. He is kind of, he's really the only squad leader type character that we get. So it's kind of cool to have an independent guy, or like, well, he's not independent, he's an upgrade, but somebody that is unique running around because he feels like he's a character of his own, like the Broodlord, you know. So it's fun. You run around in that unit, give him feel no pain, then he can, you know, ricochet missiles off of him and all these stupid things, which is cool. And you know, and again, he's kind of another wound reservoir, except he gets fleet, whereas a Tyranid Prime doesn't. So Prime probably wouldn't be good in this instance. So he's cool to have. He's fun, and again, that cancel, the hypnotic gaze is excellent if you're trying to win combats against superiorly armed troops, like your opponent's troops. So highly recommended for that. What Gene Stealers in general and the Broodlord too are not good at is fighting something like a Dreadnought. If a Dreadnought comes, then they're kind of in trouble because they can't really do a whole lot to armor 12, 13. So even though he's strength 5 with rending, that's not something you want to hope for. Also, if there's like something that can specifically pull units out of, or like a model out of your unit, you probably don't want to. But again, you're kind of hosed if you do or don't. So, but you know, things like the Brotherhood Champion, you would try not to get in base-to-base contact. So the same tactics I was showing you how to get into base-to-base contact with someone, you can use to not be in base-to-base contact with someone as well, as long as you're not the one being assaulted. And then shooting. He's got a 4+ save. Everybody else has a 5+ save. So you really need to put feel and pain on him. You really need to keep him in cover. And because if you mess up and like for instance they seize on you and you're not in cover yet, they'll just drive up a Rhino full of Space Marines, hop out, and then gun down as many of them as they can, and they'll kill most of your squad doing that. So just get out of the rapid fire. Because other units come with guns, so they'll just shoot at you, and it's like they're attacking you, but you don't get to attack back. So just be careful of that. Flamers, like the Dread Knights get this like flamer template that they can like shoot far, like 6 inches away and put any direction. And they can like teleport around the table and shoot this template thing, and so that's really hard for them because it negates all their cover. So just be aware, templates, specifically flamer templates and dreadnoughts, and things that can specifically pull him out of the unit, which are few and far between. Other than that, Gene Stealers are a go-to answer for a lot of players, and I really enjoy using them just because of how powerful they've proven to be. And between cover and feel no pain, they can be quite survivable. So anyway, I hope that's my little plug for Broodlord. Go ahead and put it out if you guys like him or what your thoughts are on him, or if there's some other idea that you come up with that I didn't even put out here. So, all right, hit me up. Bye.